What's up, YouTube? We are on Project Falcon Miata once again. So I'm delaying the gas pedal. I found the cable, but I'm working on the steering. So let me cut to some of the hokiness that is on there, and then I'll go back to what we're doing here. So I guess, come on, focus. Over the years, yep. I would have tried that Aluma weld stuff. Yeah, they stuck some rubber in there too, and see if that would have taken to the pump metal here. Because I'm going to cut this and still reuse it on this chunk of the column that I'm probably going to end up cutting really short, or at least to where here, yeah. And then the rest will be Miata. So, stripping off this, and then this fucking thing wasn't even in the car. Didn't even have steering wheel, and the little leggies popped off. This thing's pretty stiff. But yeah, I'm going to take this apart and cut that off and glue it and sand it and make it, a smoothie piece. So after all that hokiness, there's still residue of tin foil. That thing's blown out. There's still rubber stuck in there. To help take the play out of it. So I already cut the pipe down. The other chunk of it is down there. So right now the idea is I'm going to take this plumbing coupler to suck up some of the gap. Take the lower half of the Miata rack, or doohickey, and maybe add some tape to that way I could center it. And then here's the Miata shaft. I already cut off the tip. It's just welded on. I did a test cut by the threads. I probably could have pulled it out, but whatever. So as you see, that's it. It's just welded on from what I looked online. You either weld it or you pin it. So I'm going to weld it and then drill into it and rosary weld it. So it turns out that the Falcon solid shaft here fits inside snug. So there is a way too long Miata Focus shaft. So I need to cut out like probably another 10 inches or so. But that is what I'm doing. I am going to use the Miata mounting bracket here, because this does catch the floor in the factory spot. It does need to shift over a little bit since the brake booster is not centered with the steering wheel like it was in the Miata. So it's putting a funny bind on this. But getting there. I have yet another piece of rubber pipe, or coupler that's smaller, that should suck up the gap, and then I'll fit it up, mark it. I'll probably make L bracket off of this, that way it bolts onto this to make it removable for servicing. So technically it will still be kind of collapsing, long as this pipe collapses. You see, that's where the wiring comes out. That's where the wiring goes through. I would like to kind of keep that. Or the other option is make it short as sin up to here, lose that gap, and then have my wiring run it through the other half of the Miata pipe. Where the hell that went? Oh, there it is. Then I would have to trim all this down just to have somewhat of a collapsible steering wheel. So it would be shenanigans like that. So far no one really cares, but since I'm in here, I thought I'd care a little bit. So there's my rambling. Let me get to some cracking of work here. So far I temporarily tacked the two rods together. I have this all taped up because it's going to be pretty much solid. And then over here I had some exhaust pipe that fit just right, so I'm going to weld that up in there. That will give me a nice cup for this to write on. And then, yeah, happy welding, some spray painting. Like I said, I need to adjust this a little bit. Since I got it out, I think I could either lop it off and shim it over. So we'll figure out from there, but everything's nice and centered. I turn this end, yeah, that end turns. I just have it kind of tacked up so I can take it off. I space it so the steering wheel still fit with some space. So let me show you that in a second. So I left about that much gap because I still could play with that a little bit. Then down here, yeah, I could push it up a little bit more. So we'll figure out from there, but I'm feeling pretty solid about it. Yeah, spin the wheel and the threads, yeah. There we go. So for shits and giggles, there's my tack. Said this sleeve slides in that sleeve, so this could go all the way through. So tacked. This will go here. I took the little screw things that hold it in place for now because I'm still sizing it up. There's my boot. There's my collar. So with everything said and done, I'll probably throw a tack screw or self tapper, one on each side, and call it a day because I got more than enough meat there. As long as it's like, 3/8 tack screw or something. Shit, maybe even a little deeper than that. So that's what I'm doing. Alright, so the column is in. I feel my spacing's okay. Then there's my collar. Need to weld in a stud for that. That bolts up to the booster. Alignment looks pretty decent. It's not rubbing, as far as I can tell. Yep, sea sky all the way through. And my favorite part, when I turn the wheel, it does turn. So most likely I will get a cranked steering wheel, shrink this down. I'm pretty sure from the marks I am factory spot, because last time when I was thinking about mounting this guy, that's pretty tight. Yeah, he's something like that. So yep, steering is figured out. And the gas pedal here needs to go something like that. So I'm going to weld in a stud for that, because the brake booster is pretty much right on the other side of it. I need to find a flat stud, and then a couple tack screws like I said for this. But I mean, it ain't moving no more than it did before. Yeah. Just double check here. Yeah, I guess those are still a tad loose. But yeah, there we go. I still got the boot and everything for the Miata to seal that up. And then I still got the hole for the wiring, so I can use the factory turn signals and everything with my homemade hazard lights and whatnot. And then once you figure out the gas pedal, because that thing sits so far back compared to the other pedals, I was looking online. There's a mod that you take, I think it's 1 inch and some change out of this, and you move all this up and it lifts the pedal up. I don't know about it bringing it more forward, but yeah, this thing's pretty low. So I might do the pedal mod, or do it so that the factory pedal, where the hell that went, this goes back over here and does the same stuff it used to do, which I believe I could fit. So, yep. Steering is figured out. Just need to make it pretty now. Like I said, shifter here is going to get cut out and molded smooth. And then there we go. And then once all this is stitched together solid, I'll make preparations, cut this and cut that, for if and when I ever do an LS swap, just in case. Why go through all the trouble doing all this body work and welding and plating and not have this already prepped for an LS in case I do go that way. But the front end is almost sorted. I got some better lighting. And yeah, that is brakes, clutch. Now the steering's figured out. Like I said, I need to take it apart, re-weld it. Maybe I'll actually put this on a tripod and, you know, show my crappy welding abilities. And yeah, it's late. So let's cut to that. There we go. Try to keep the slip joint cold here. Where'd my wire brush go? So if you think about it, and people that get all carried away with the, oh hey, I need to put a bolt through it, yada yada. You can mold it pretty damn good here. It's not going to get any better than that. Chop this up and clean it off. Well, you can see that. Let me flip the image around. So, thanks for watching, subscribing, liking. Feel free to ask questions. And that's where we're at. We got the steering hooked up, the steering wheel's hooked up. So, now, just last thing to do is the brake line. Once again, guys, yeah, got a steering wheel. How awesome is that? Peace out. Thanks again.